For this video I'm going to show how I made this pattern here. So this is just a repeated pattern all the way down. So the knotting sequence that you use for the first part is exactly the same as the second part, it's just that the colours will switch over every time you do your next section. So to begin you want to work with two sections. So I've got monochrome at one side and rainbow themed at the other side, and you want to arrange your colours in order from the colour that you want to be in the centre to the one that you want on the outside across each side. So I'm going to start with the left hand section. I want to take the thread that's next to the centre and I want to work over the rest of these threads. And then I want to pull the thread through and pull this up to the top. And I want to take the same thread and work it underneath the rest of the threads on the left and pull the thread through. And then I want to put this thread out of the way, and this one won't be worked again for this section. I want to take the next colour in my sequence to work it over the top of the rest of the threads and pull it under and through. And then I want to work it underneath the rest of the threads and again pull it through. And I want to repeat this at this side using the next colour each time over the rest of the threads, but not the ones that have just been knotted until I'm down to the last thread. So once you've done that, you should have something that's tapering like this, and you want to do an exact same thing at the other side but just a mirror image. So taking the thread that's at the centre, you want to work over the rest of the threads and pull through, and then under the rest of the threads and pull through. And then you want to drop this thread and take the next colour and do the same thing again over the remaining threads. Each time just working over and under and then dropping that colour. And again you want to do this until you get down to your last thread. So once you've done that, you should have a sort of mirror at the other side of tapering, but just in a different colour. So for the next part of the pattern, I'm going to be working the left hand threads over the right hand threads. So each time I'm only going to knot these threads over these threads, and I'm not going to be knotting these over each other like you would do with a traditional friendship bracelet. So I want to take this thread and I'm going to work it in forward knots over all these threads. So once you've done that one, you want to take your next colour and do the same thing again, but you're only going to be working over the other section. So you will never work over the colours that are from the same section. You want to keep doing this, doing forward knots with these over these until you've switched the colour position. So once you get to this thread, again, just drop this one with the other one and don't work the last thread. And then you want to take the next thread from this section and again work over these and ignore these three. And then just keep doing this until you've switched the colours. So once you've done all these, you should have switched your colours from this side to this side and vice versa. So the next thing you need to do is you want to do your tapering to bring all your colours back to the centre again, the way it was when I started. So to do this, you want to start from the left and then take the thread on the right hand side and then do a backward knot. And then holding both these threads, take the next one on the right and do a backward knot over both. And then holding all the threads on the left, taking the right thread and then again doing a backward knot over both. And you want to do this until you've got all your threads into the centre. And once you've done this side, you want to do a mirror image at the other side. So this time taking the threads on the right, you want to take the one on the left and do a forward knot. And then keeping hold of these two threads, taking the next one on the left. So once you've done that, I like to take the last thread I worked at either side and do a forward backward knot, and this closes the slight gap you can sometimes get in this style of bracelet. You don't have to do this one if you don't want to, it's just something I always do. So once you've done that, you've completed your first section, and every other section is going to be exactly the same. It's the same knotting sequence, it just switches colours every time. So you want to go back to what you did at the beginning and taper back outwards to do your next section. And just keep repeating these sections all the way down until you've got the bracelet as long as you want it to be. And once you've finished, you should end up with something that looks like this. So I've finished with 2 braided tie ends, but you could do whichever fastening you prefer. And that is your completed bracelet.